friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So guess what? Today we kick off Halloween. Yes! It just seems right to sew Halloween in June. Tell me that seems right to you. Before we do that, it is Donut Day, and somewhere I have a pattern with a donut on it. I don't know where. I didn't go dig it up. But there's a couple patterns out there with donuts on them, and I spotted these super cute spatulas. Oh my goodness, look how cute that is with a donut on it. So you can get those too. So share your donut quilts in Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. And because you're here at YouTube, I have our YouTube Facebook group, and you can go over there and the fireside chat. And if you want to share donuts that you've made, donut recipes, if you have made other things with donuts. Oh, do I have this? Wait. I just remembered. I have this. Look. This is a pin cushion I got, a year or so ago. And it's made of felt. It's already pre-made. It's not a pattern. You buy it purchased, finished. You buy it finished, but it's got a donut floating at the top. If they're still available, I'll link you to it. How cute is that? Look at that. Okay, so there, that makes up for my lack of donut pattern showing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get right into Halloween. The Fat Quarter Shop sponsors a free quilt along, and it's always a small project. They do Halloween here in June, and it's always pretty much a Halloween theme, not a fall theme, so it's Halloween. And then in July, Christmas in July, they do a Christmas theme, smallish, quilt. So they're always a nice size, very doable, done in 4 weeks. So we have 4 weeks for Halloween, and I don't know, it just always feels sort of right to in June be making some Halloween now. So this is the first one we have. It is called Spooky and Sweet, this Halloween quilt along, and we have this adorable little ghost. Does it have a name? Does she have a name? Oh, they just call it the Witchy Ghost Block, but because she's got a little witch's hat on. So cute. All right, we're going to talk, and there's also a cross stitch, so I'm going to show you the cross stitch as well. And the cross stitch runs also in four parts, so that you can. I'm going to try to sew it. I am, because it's so cute. It is so cute. All right, I had a fabric faux pas. And it didn't occur to me until like yesterday when I was getting ready to think about pulling the fabric out to film this. And I'm like, oh, that isn't going to work. So let me just show you. So what I have is, this is the layer cake that I decided to get. And it is kind of, I don't know, sophisticated. I'm going to have a little girl that's a little witchy ghost that's super cute. And I actually got more of this top fabric, which I'm not sure, this isn't going to, this quilt isn't going to use all of this. So I may end up using these and the rest of this for something else. But then what I did, wait, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Pretend you didn't see it. Then I thought, oh, this will be the background because I'm doing a lot of Halloween with white background. Well, ghost, I don't want to put the ghost on this. We just won't even see her. So that is oh my goodness, that isn't going to work. So instead, I went around and I found a very light blossom with gray. So I've got that in gray, which I think will be just fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. So now what I need to do is figure out what fabrics I'm gonna have for this ghost. And I could use this for the ghost, for the white part. And based on the supply list, there's white used in some of the other blocks for these 4, sections. But then I thought, well, what if I picked something different than this? What do I have that might be just a little bit more exciting? So let me show you looking through my white fabrics for an option. I have 2 bins of lights. with a lot. Most of them have pattern on them. I try to keep all the dots over here too. There shouldn't be lights with dots anywhere else, but you know, there might be. They normally live here on the shelves. And so I was thinking for the ghost, I could do a dot. There's a dot on gray. What I'd really love, which I'm not seeing, I'm looking through here, it would be awesome to have a dot. I don't mind a bigger dot or spaced out, but I would love if they were really light. You know, like light. Like there's a blue one, but that's just not the right color. Okay, so what is that? What is that? What is that? You can't see it, can you? There you can. Now, ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. Now, these I don't have enough. But this was like a sampler of all these little dots. And here's some that's got some orange and black. But there's not enough of that. And the ones who I do have enough of, these are not, you know, like, that's kind of like a red, white, and gray. Not right. So, you know, I need enough of it. See, now this would be cool if it were maybe gray, because they're just more open versus these ones that are denser. But I don't know. They could be cute. I'm going to pull it over there. We're gonna check it out. See, anything that's too small, like I'd probably need at least a half a yard. And sometime, okay. I don't know. I might just pull that one over there too. Don't know how much is there. Now the other thing, I saw this one, which is orange, which would be kind of cute. And of course there's like a massive amount of it. This is also super darling. Because it's black and orange and gray. And they're tiny, super tiny. Do you see the difference? Like this is going to be, I'm going to look at it, but it's going to be like so much feature. You know, you're really just going to look at that. And I was more looking for something that caused you to kind of have texture. This is what I call texture, to have a little bit of design, but not like your eye is going, oh, there's great big shaded dots. Yeah. And the black, the open ones would be great if they were super light. But okay. All right, so there's a plaid in here too, but I think that would just make them a little too dull. It's orange and black. I've used it on other stuff for Halloween, fall, but it's just got too much pattern. It would kind of do the same as this. It's like, okay, there's a plaid ghost. It's not really what I want. All right, let's take these over. So I pulled them, and definitely this isn't going to work. Now that I've, I filmed that first, I had lunch, I did some other things, and I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to keep it in here just in case. And the other two, you know, I just don't know. I don't know if that's where I want to go with things or whether I just want to keep it simple. The thing is, if I do, there's not enough. You need like 3/4 of a yard, or almost 3/4 of a yard of whatever you use for the ghost, so that you use, if you want to use the same fabric in other spots. And so this I have here is like, I could maybe try to do, I'm sure they probably can get the ghost out of this. It was a fat quarter, and this is a fat quarter, which still means I would need, you know, a bit more, another, you know, bit to do some, something else in the quilt. But I don't mind having one of the like the ghost in this maybe, and then maybe the rest of it done with that. I mean, that doesn't bother me. Or even, you know, using all three of these just to make it a little bit scrappy. Since I only have 10-inch squares, this is just layer cake. It's 10-inch squares, and none of the lights here. Well, this one is. Oh, see now I could use this light. I could use this for some of the light, and not that. Oh, perfect. So these two I'm just putting back. And then I will use this, and this. So the ghost, I might just make the ghost out of this today, the kind of open, because like I was saying, I was looking for something small and more open, and it would have been fabulous if it had been a dot, but I think stars is equally fabulous. So okay, so these three I'm going to keep for the lights for this project. And now I need to look at, you know, the witch here, the ghost witch, the witchy ghost, and see what other fabrics from here I want to use. Well, let's take a look. I have, you know, here's the fabrics. There's some bigger prints, the spider web, some stripes, the little bats, the stars, and then some crows with the big flowers, crows with, you know, their smaller scale. So what I did was I took this for the ghost. The hat will be the spider web with the band being the stripe. Then the pumpkin will be the stripe and the bats. So now I need the body, and really this doesn't have, I don't want to use these blacks again for the body, so I went into my stash because I need a dark, and then I need something with some contrast to that for the little arms, and so I found these two, which will be kind of the, I gotta move the pumpkin down there, gotta see the ghost body. Okay, so something along that line, and I think that's going to be good. So what I'm going to do now is I will go ahead and cut all that and lay it out so you can see it before I sew it. And then, you know, that also gives you a chance. If you do that before you sew it, then if one of them isn't quite right, you know, you're like, oh, that sort of disappears, or it's too high a contrast, which might be the case, or not enough contrast. Like I'm wondering about the purple band, that it might be just, it might not be enough contrast. I was thinking like maybe it might have to just dig around and find something else to put there. But let me cut it all except for that band, because that's the only one I'm like wondering, the purple band, and see what it looks like. Well, that was fun cutting it all out. I've got it cut out except for the band on the hat, because you know, I don't know. So we're gonna look. I got too much crap on my table. Can you relate? Can you relate? All right, so this is a big ghost. What I did was okay, I've got to get the roar out of there. There, that's the problem. It's in the way. All right, so here is the ghost's face, her witchy hat. This is the pumpkin. See the pumpkin. And then here's the two grays, which I think turned out excellent, super excellent. I did the darker, which is also the darker for the eyes. And then this later one, which has a lot more pattern on it. It was from a line either last year or the year before. Maybe an art gallery line, I don't remember. Okay, so the purple. This is the purple from the line, the stripe. And there's also, there's also the, I think this comes in purple too. And I just think it needs a little bit more spark, So I pulled some purples. This one's kind of fun. It is sort of a 30s purple, you know, 30s style. And let's see. So there's option 1. I kind of like it. It's sweet. It's very sweet. This is a batik, so it's got a lot of richness. It's got a lot of depth to color like the batiks have, and a little bit larger print. It still reads a little bit dark, but not sort of dulled down, because it's a lot brighter than this one. Do you see the difference? See, this one's more dulled down. It actually blends too much to the black. It's definitely going to be my binding, because I got extra of it to do binding, so that's not a problem, and it might work into the other blocks beautifully. It's just I need, okay, so here's a different batik, which also it's a little bit darker than that 30s print, but it's got a little bit more pattern, a little bit more sparkle to it. Flowers are denser than that previous one, which was a little bit like ginkgo leaves. Okay, so the last one is I've got this one, which is a Tula Pink Basics, I think. And that's got that little bit of orangey red in there. which is kind of cool because that kind of brings in, I mean, it's not really orange, but it's far enough away. So there, that's kind of neat. I would have to cut it straight. Either that or cut it totally angled, but it has to be one or the other since it's a patterned print. I don't know. I'm still kind of loving this playful 30s print, just to have something playful. Yeah, I think I'm loving that one. Also, because I'm using a layer cake, this piece is longer than 10 inches, which is a layer cake. So I just sewed 2 pieces together, and that spider web is so good that it really just blends in. Okay, I'm going to cut this one, and it's fairly wide. It is it fairly? No. It's 2 inches wide, but it's wider than this. It'll be wider than my mock-up, but it's 2 inches finished. You read all the pattern cutting sizes on your free pattern. Don't listen to me for cutting sizes. Read. Okay, I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to sew the witchy ghost. There's a few pieces. It'll take a few minutes. Oh, I forgot. You may want to use something like the alphabetties to mark your parts, because each one has a letter, so that you can just take the corresponding little, charm in here and put it down like that if you need to. And it might be that you only need to do ones that are maybe like out on the edge up here, like some of those you might need it. I find that for this particular project, I've placed them, and as I sew them, it's going to reveal if there's anything like I'm not really sure what it went to. It'll show up as the proper thing. So I didn't put any down this time, but I could have. Remember to audition your sew and flips. This is the top peak of the hat, up here of the hat, and depending on your fabric, you may want something, in particular to show up there. So just fold it back, and that's how it's going to look. Then also, reminder, sew from here to here for your sew and flip instead of trying to take the point into your machine like that. So, because it's much easier. It's much easier to sew this way. And let me just put my guide beam on for my baby lock. Okay, so I've got my guide beam, and I'm going to go, see, it's angled right to the point, and then I'm not trying to feed that point into the feed dogs, which is tedious. So I will be pressing open for the tip of my hat. Finishing the hat might seem a little funky. You're following the pattern, it looks a little odd, but when you audition, you're taking this great big square and you're doing a sew and flip, and you can just pull it over like that, once again to audition. And if you want, you can even be auditioning it in place so that you can see how it will. There we go. So it is going to come together like this, and that hat has got like a kind of a top thing and then the little point that sticks out. So there's how it goes. Sometimes you just have to trust the process, but you can see it by doing these auditions, by just putting the fabric back. There we go. And then it still has the strip under here, which I've got here. So that'll make it look right. Just before I sew the 3 parts, 1, 2, and then 3. So now you can see the hat so well, right? Look at her. Just look at her. Now I do have to tell you, these are longer than 10 inches. And so I had to add a little piece because I'm only using a layer cake, and so I just add a little piece. And my trick is I don't want to line that seam up on both ends, so visually I put one here and one here, and then they just sort of disappear from view.
Okay, I'm also thinking I want to curve her head in just a little bit. You see how it's just squared off? Instead, I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch strip for both of the top ends and just curve it. And down at the bottom, it's already curved. You know, the pumpkin's curved, and the tail, there's just nothing to do there. So the ghost tail, it's fine. So I just think for here, I want to curve it. So a 1.5 inch square sew and flip here before I sew this strip to the eyeball section. Oh, good grief. Look at this. Somehow it flipped over. So I just got to unpick that and fix it. There you get a peek at the ghost with the little half-square triangles to give them a little rounded. So the hat sits up a little taller when I do this, but I'm okay with that. I think it's cute.
Well, she takes a few minutes to do, and she is a really big ghost. Look how big this is. Look at this. It is so stinking cute. Look at her little arms. Hold the little pumpkin. Oh, and I love using this up here. So I'm going to keep that in the bin because it might be worked into some of the next sections. We'll see. Oh, look how cute she is. And remember, I did the little adjustment here by sewing a 1.5 inch sew and flip on the top of her head to give her a little bit more rounded head. So there she is. Now it takes you a few minutes. Like, it is now 6 o'clock at night, so I'm going to wrap this video up. But I want to first show you, before I finish, the cross stitch, because the cross stitch is so cute. And you know, I cross stitch slow, but sometimes I do manage to keep up with something if I make it a plan. And I'm thinking I might make it a plan because I think it's going to be so cute. Now, you can't, it's a mystery again, so you can't see everything. You start out with the frame, little half square triangles on the frame, and the plan they give you is to do 1/4, so you know, 1 quadrant for each week. This is the first week, so if you work ahead, then you know, yay you, because you'll have less of it to do later. So I am going to try. Here, let me just show you. I went ahead and got the kit because, you know, I just don't feel like figuring out the threads. I know it doesn't seem like it's that hard, but I just love the colors they pick, so I did that. And I have got the pumpkin floss holders and a little jump ring. This is a pack of these. I got way too many of these, so I can use them. Got a little jump ring. I have the new ghost. And I have this piece of gray, which is by Fabric Flare, called Hazy Gray. And it was used for something else. It was not a full piece, and so I just got a piece big enough. It says it finishes 7 inches by 7 inches. So, and then in here are my needles. Got my needles, and they are this brand right here. I'll link everything below. So I am ready to go. I am ready. I am going to get this stitched because it's just so cute. Look at her. Just look at her. She's like the block. Let me get her. She needs a name. For some reason I'm thinking like Glenda. I don't know. That was like Glenda the Good Witch, right? In The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, she just seems like the Good Witch. She's so stinking cute and big. You know I love big. Oh my goodness. Okay, my friend. It is Halloween in June. I hope you join in. There is a kit from the Fat Quarter Shop that uses the fabrics they use, not the fabrics I'm using, but the fabrics they use. And you can, of course, get like a layer cake like I have too. So that's all linked below and at the description box for the Halloween mystery. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.